Hello again, everyone, to another exciting edition of Late Night Reds. I'm Skylar Webker. He's Ben Brown. We're part of the Riverfront podcast family, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. And Ben, how was your All-Star break?
It was good, man. It was good. Just I was telling people like that's kind of like I kind of catch bits and pieces of the All-Star game. That's the first time I actually sat down and watched it, and in probably about 3 or 4 years, and it was really good. I enjoyed that they went back to their own uniforms. I enjoyed the format. I felt like it was a lot of fun to watch. Atlanta did a tremendous job.
Yes.
Of honoring, of course, Hank Aaron and their history. I think Atlanta kind of brought back a little bit of swagger to the All-Star game. The way they did some things and from what I've heard, like it was just a really good event put on. And not saying that other cities don't, but Atlanta's just a special spot, man. Like it always does a great job of hosting events and things like that. So it seemed like it was just a cool vibe to the whole week, and the All-Star game was a really good game to watch.
It was, and it's by far the best All-Star game in professional sports, in my opinion. I mean, the NBA, they don't really try. The NFL, it's a flag football game at this point.
Right.
So I think it's a fun game that both teams are actually trying to win, and both sides are trying to show off as far as their offense and defense and everything like that. So I love that they went back to they're just the team uniforms. That's such a better look. I love it. And you're right. What they did for Hank Aaron and just the swagger that A-Town brought for baseball was super cool to watch. And love them or hate them, the goons from Pat McAfee, like they do a good job of hyping up like the All-Star introductions, hyping up the home run derby. So
yeah,
I think Major League Baseball did itself a big credit having it in Atlanta and just showing out as well as they did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to see. Like it kind of had that like flair. Like it felt special again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%. It is by far the most prestigious, to me, the most prestigious All-Star event of the major four sports. I will say that hockey does a decent job too. Like NHL does a good job too. But like you said, the Pro Bowl is a flag football game. Basketball, they're not playing any defense. Everybody's just trying to score points and do whatever. The baseball All-Star game feels like those guys are still competing and want to be the absolute best for their league, which is really cool.
Yeah, and to add to it, I love the swing off because the game it was tied. Instead of doing extra innings or anything like that, like the swing off was so fun. There was so much swagger. There's like just so great to watch. And hopefully a soon to be Cincinnati Red, Kyle Schwarber, Cincinnati's own, won it for the National League.
Yeah, I definitely like that because here's the thing: nobody wants to go extra innings in an All-Star game, and two, when you do that, you got to think about pitchers and player usage and all the other stuff. Let's just get it knocked down. Let's have a swing off. Let's have some fun with it, and everybody was kind of into it, so it was really cool to be able to see that. And Kyle Schwarber, hometown guy from Middletown, Ohio. Fun fact, my son used to play for the Cincy Flames, which is the organization he played for, and actually got a chance to meet Kyle Schwarber. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So he was a good dude, came in but yeah, hometown kid. And he comes in, he just, he hits 3 blasts. It was really fun to watch. It was really cool. So big up to Atlanta, man. I had to give them a shout out because, like I said, they made the event feel like it was special.
No doubt. And I hope Major League Baseball and these cities kind of follow up on that momentum because baseball is alive and has so much attention and I would say growing amongst the younger people, younger demographic, and stuff like that really helps their case, I would say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think they do the best they highlight their younger players the best. You know,
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholms, your Ellie De La Cruzes, those guys are spotlighted, and those are the kids. Those are the guys that the kids want to mimic. They want to wear the chains. They want to have all the drip and the slide pads. That's what kids want, and that's what they see as cool. So baseball does a really good job of highlighting those guys and getting those guys featured. And you can tell, man, if you're ever on like any kind of social media, all those kids are following that stuff. They've all got the drip and the chains and the, you know what I mean, and it's fun. I mean, because baseball is a fun game. So I think they do a really good job of marketing those guys, and they've got very marketable talent. I mean, you're talking about Aaron Judge, who's very marketable. Ellie De La Cruz, very marketable. Chisholm, very marketable. You got a ton of marketable guys there in baseball right now, where baseball is kind of the it thing.
Well, Pat McGooch pops in here. He wants to be Ellie De La Cruz. Like, it's just so fun, so swaggy, so drippy. I love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's definitely on. He's becoming that face of fun baseball, and his play and his production is starting to catch up to that. So it's pretty cool to see.
Well, coming out of the break, the Reds go to New York and they take 2 of 3 against the Mets, who I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this until the game. They had the best home record of any team in baseball. So to go into New York and take 2 of 3, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty great to see, great to feel. That right as they sit right now, as of this recording, they're 2.5 games out from the wild card. So they're right there. They're the next team in line if San Diego falls out.
Yeah, it's a big sign to me to go into New York City out of the All-Star break, and perform the way that they did. It shows that those guys are kind of locked in and ready to go, and they want to push for a playoff spot. They want to be there. So to go in and make that kind of run in New York right out of the All-Star game is huge for us. I mean, that's setting the tone, hopefully, for the back half of your season, the last 60 plus so games we have left. And if for order to do that, you got to, like we said, we talk about all the time, you got to stack series. So once you start to stack series and stack wins, then that momentum starts to go. So hopefully that's the start of this.
I agree. And win this series, we kind of saw a new look. We saw Noel Marte in right field, and out of all the reports on it, like, he is the best, one of the better athletes as these young prospects. He's got a rope of an arm. He's quick to the ball, so I think it makes sense. The only piece that I'm like on the fence about is that they waited till game 100 to try it out versus any minor league time, any spring training, any getting up here. They waited till game 100 to try him out in right field.
Yeah, that one makes me a little nervous because, I mean, here's the thing: the guy's a professional athlete. I'm not going to say that he can't do it. That's not the thing. But baseball is already hard enough. So now you're going to take a guy who's never played in the outfield ever, not in single A, not in double A, not in triple A, not. I mean, he may have played in high school. I don't know, but on a professional level, he's never played in the outfield. And now you're going to take him and make him a right fielder, like you said, game 100 on a potential playoff team. It's a little gutsy. I mean, like, it's you know what I mean. That is a very gutsy move. That's a very gutsy call. Here's my thing. I'm hoping that they don't think that is the solving of their outfield problem. And I know that they're trying to develop depth, and I know that Marte will do whatever it is in order for that team to be successful. But I hope that that's not their say. See, we solved their outfield problem. You're like, no, that's not what we're talking about when we solve the outfield problem. We need to go get a viable outfielder. But overall, I think that athleticism wise, baseball wise, in order to get a guy out there that moves around pretty well, like you said, has a good arm, has a good feel for baseball. Um, it's worth a shot. Like I said, I wish they would have. If this was something that was in the works or something that they thought was going to happen, I really would have liked to see him do it in the minors, or those games where he was trying to make his way back, or whatever the case may be. But to do that in a in a game where you're trying to sweep the Mets and you're still trying to make the playoffs, is like I said, it's pretty gutsy. It's a pretty gutsy call.
Yeah, and to the credit of everybody, I would say Jim Day put it best on the broadcast. He said, Terry Francona is not in the business to put players out there to embarrass themselves. So, it took Noel Marte to say, yes, I'm ready. I can do this. It took Terry Francona to trust that. So to the credit, but like you said, that's not a solve. Pat Magooch and Hunter are in the chat. Like, go get Ramon Laureano, go get Luis Robert, go get Byron Buxton. I mean, just an outfielder, a major league outfielder. Now, I don't know if any of those names would fit the bill, but a major league ready outfielder. And it's so funny because the greatest 4A player to exist, Reese Hines, that's all he does is mash in AAA.
Yeah,
he's gonna have a statue outside Louisville.
He is. Like, he'll have a statue outside of the bats field. Like, what in the world? Yeah, dude. Every time I flip on something, he's mashing a home run down there. So I don't. That's the weirdest thing to me, how that doesn't translate. Like, he goes down there and just dominates pitchers. I mean, just dominates. And he gets to the major leagues, and it's like you can see glimpses of it, but not enough to be like, yeah, he's going to be our everyday right fielder, everyday left fielder, or whatever the case may be. But, hopefully, I mean, what you hope is that maybe he becomes a little bit more consistent, and can do it. But yeah, I'm hoping that there's a move in there somewhere. And like I said, I don't know all the contracts, numbers, signings, who's got this, NTA. I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is that we need a move to be made. We need a solidified major league outfielder to help us with depth, help us in our order. And not saying that Marte can't make spot starts out there. I'm not saying that, but if we think that is the answer to our outfield issues, I don't know if that's it. Maybe it's trying to develop that depth, which I'm okay with. I mean, if you're trying to develop depth there, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But you still need a guy that's been a major league outfielder out there consistently all the time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the other piece that I would be worrisome about it is we've just seen guys that when they are positionless, they can't seem to get their mind right when they get to the plate. And you look at all the top hitters on this team, they play one defensive position day in and day out. Ellie De La Cruz plays shortstop every day. Matt McClain plays second base every day. Spencer Steer is our first baseman ever since they DFA'd Candelario. So like every day, Spencer Steer is playing first base. And ever since then, he's been hitting the ball fantastically. Great defense. TJ Friedel is our everyday center fielder. So you get the point, is that like these everyday one position guys, they seem to do better at the plate. And I don't want this right field experiment to take away from Noel Marte's hitting ability, because he is a key hitter on this team, probably in that little middle back end of this lineup.
Yeah. No, and I think we've mentioned this before, that Major League Baseball players are creatures of habit. Most athletes are creatures of habit. But, a lot of that being a creature of habit is consistently. Like, I know when I show up on this day, I know where I'm going to play, and I got a kind of an idea where I'm going to bat. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I'm Noel Marte, like I know hey, I'm going to be playing third base. I'm going to be batting seventh or eighth. You know what I mean? Or somewhere in there.
Right,
So
right.
it's a that's the part I worry about. Like, and you bring up a good point. Like that consistency of the day in, day out. Am I going to be here day in, day out doing this? And hopefully it's not an issue because they're professionals. But like I said, they are creatures of habit as well.
Exactly. And I think the days of kind of the Pete Rose positionless, doesn't matter where he is on the field, he's just going to hit. I think those days are pretty far gone.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to think of a major league player that consistently plays more than two positions and take the up the middle of the infield out or catcher first base out, but
Yeah.
like somebody that plays infield and outfield and is able to really thrive. I kind of actually struggling to think of anybody that's been able to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's kind of. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to think of, but it's the consistency part. You know what I mean? Like I said, guys like to know where they're going to be, what they're going to do day in, day out, so that their routine stays the same. So the way they prepare, because if you're preparing to play the infield every day, then that's what you prepare for. Preparing to play the outfield is different. So that is a change to your routine and what you do. So I'm hoping that, and like I said, if this is the move, then we're just trying to develop depth, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I'm hoping that we don't say, hey, this is our fix for the outfield. Like I'm hoping that's not what it's coming to.
Well, and I think a lot of comments have come out this week lately, both from the front office and the team. And I'm going to use Emilio Pagan's clip here first, but from what we're saying, the message that they're providing, he's saying a lot. So I'll go ahead and play it for everybody here. This was Emilio Pagan's post-game interview after the second game.
You've won the series, chance to sweep tomorrow. How far can this go?
I mean, they got the best home record in the game.
Yeah.
So for us to come in here like this and take the series, the first two games with a chance to go for the sweep tomorrow, this is what we talked about. We talked about coming out of the break hot, and trying to force the organization's hand to go get some help for us and see what we can do for the Reds fans and try and do something special.
Congrats on the win.
All right.
So a lot of things there. I mean,
yeah.
The one thing that I would say is this team knows, everybody in that clubhouse knows they need help. They don't have enough to get it done. So you're right. You want to play well. You want to force the ownership hand, but that's a much different message than we hear most of the time, where it's, oh, we like the guys that we got. We think we got the pieces. Like this is the team saying, go get us help.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not oblivious to the fact that they're undermanned, right? Like, and I'm not saying that the guys that we have aren't good players. That's not what I'm saying. I enjoy the guys we have on this roster, but do we have enough guys to go win a playoff game and get to the playoffs and win a series? No, we don't. So those guys know that. Like, they've been around this game a real long time, way longer than me, you, anybody else. And they've played professional baseball. So they know that they're lacking somewhere. But the message is they see it, but the message is being relayed from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pagan wouldn't just put that out there if it hasn't been talked about in the clubhouse, right? Like that. I don't think he has the freedom. I mean, he's a grown man. He can say what he wants, but I don't think that message would be relayed if it hasn't been talked about within the guys in that locker room.
Yeah.
Or it hasn't been talked about with Tito. Like I think Tito has enough reins on that. I think they have enough reins on that clubhouse where Pagan wouldn't speak out unless he felt like he had the backing of Tito and the guys in his locker room. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like most guys under Tito are company guys. They're gonna do the right thing. They're gonna say the right thing, and it's not like Pagan doesn't like who he's playing with, but he definitely knows that, man, we're gonna need some more. We're gonna need some bullpen arms. We're gonna need an outfielder. We're gonna need some guys that can go and help us win these baseball games. You want us to compete. The fans want us to compete. The city wants us to compete. Go help us compete. So that message is being relayed, and it has to be relayed in that locker room, and it has to be being relayed by Tito for him to be able to come out there and say that, because that's a strong message. That's not just saying, hey, like, we just want to make the playoffs and we feel like we're a great team. But no, like we want management to go get guys to help. Like you can't put it any more plain and more simple than that. Like we are telling you, we have the base in order to win. We need those 2 or 3 more guys to put us over the hump. Now, are you going to do that? The ball's in your court. Now, are you going to do that? Or are you going to say, hey, we're just gonna stay who we are? And so the challenge is on them. And I love that Pagan did that. I love that he's putting it out there and he's saying, hey, we have a playoff caliber team if you do the work and help us out.
Yeah, I love the message. Like I said, it's far from what we always hear. Oh, we like the guys here. We think we can win with these guys. This is the team saying we can do it. We need more. We need an outfielder. We need a bullpen help, like Hunter's put in here. Getting concerned about Santiago and Barlow being overworked because I think they're in every game.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like those guys know and they understand what it takes to win. And they understand that as of right now, like we don't have the relief depth in order to make a run like we need to make. We're going to need more arms. We're going to need we're going to need bullpen help. We're going to need a guy in that outfield that's going to be able to help us. So, I just thought about this. I don't know if the Marte move was a strategic move by Tito, saying, hey, now we're taking our third baseman and putting him in the right field. Like this should ought to tell you that we need to make a move to go get an outfielder. And Tito, of course, is smart enough to be like, hey, like, you want to see what our outfield depth is? I just took our third baseman and put him in right field. Like here you go. Like this is what we're doing. This is how we're trying to develop depth. So, not saying that he did that or not, but like
Smart if he did.
If he did it, he's a genius. Because I'm like, here's what our depth is. We just took our third baseman and put him in the right field. Like that's what our depth is. So, and then relaying that message by Pagan, like it's just all kind of plays together.
Yeah, so. They're on pace to be 86, 5 games over 500, so 86 and this year, and that's a good record. That's close to getting that will get you in if you can keep that pace. But boy, it's a tight race, man. I mean, the Cubs and the Dodgers are tied for the best records in the league, which is crazy to me. Yeah. It's a tight race, and we're seeing that the Reds are able to keep pace with that tight race. They just need the little bit of extra to really put them past the Padres, the Giants, the Mets are falling out of the sky, but like putting them past some of these other teams that are ahead of them.
Yeah. And it's there. I mean, it's right there in their grasp. And I think that's where the players are feeling the most desperate, right? Like they can see that they're right there. They can see that we have a winning baseball team right in the palm of our hand if we go out and do this. And I think that's where the desperation is coming.
Yeah. And the front office had kind of their own comments. They talked with media, and Brad So it wasn't Nick Krall, not Nick Krall talking here, but
they took the mic away.
We're getting
they took the mic
statements from him. I know. I don't like when Nick Krall talks either.
They took the mic away from him.
But Brad put out here, and I kind of have highlighted the main piece of it. But he says we're certainly going to take a look at every team and figure out how we can make improvements in the short term to help. But at the same time, we're not going to hurt ourselves over the long term and sell our best prospects. Basically, we're not going to pay the sun, the moon, the stars. But they are looking to help this team. So a lot of kind of sitting on the fence, some talk, honestly. Like, we'll see what we do. But, man, how far down do you consider a top prospect?
Well, that's my thing. I don't think it will take a top prospect. I think it will just take the willingness to move people who you feel like I'm not saying you got to move all kinds of people, but you got to be able to move a few guys here or there where it'll benefit your baseball team. Like they're trying to win. We're trying to win now. And at some point you got to be like, okay, there are certain guys, of course, I know that they probably don't want to let go, but it may not take those guys. It may take some other guys. You gotta play the game. And nobody's expecting you to sell the farm by any stretch, but at least be able to sell some rows of corn. Give us something. You know what I mean? You ain't got to sell the whole farm, but sell a couple rows of corn and get us some movement there.
This is the best analogy I've ever heard. You don't have to sell the farm, but sell some corn. Let's go.
Yeah, sell some corn, man. Make something happen.
I'm curious what they consider a top prospect. I mean, I have the top prospects pulled up here. Obviously, Chase Burns isn't going anywhere. Brett Lauder probably isn't going anywhere.
No.
Sal Stewart, maybe. I mean, he's got called up to AAA this week and has already hit a home run in AAA. But to me, Cam Collier's on the block. Chase Petty's on the block. 4 down on the block.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, I would say 4, maybe 5th, maybe Petty, but after that, and Petty to me would be a guy that I think people would really want to go after, and Cam Collier too. But I think those are two pieces that are really, really viable in a trade market. But it's not selling everybody. Those are just 2 prospects in a line of prospects that could help your baseball team now. So, I don't know. I just feel like the value of prospects is fine, but the prospect to prosperity rate is not very high. I mean, it's not. I mean, let's be honest. That rate is not very high. The rate of a Cam Collier helping us in the next year or so, what is the rate of that? I don't know.
He's still in AA, so
yeah. So
not as close,
right? So it's are you going to hold on to him for another 3 years and say, okay, well, we got him for the next 3 years, but now Ellie's a Yankee. So what do we? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Are we trying to win now, or what's the plan? So, and I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying you got to sell the farm, but there's got to be some guys that you got, okay, this guy's got value and we're willing to move him in order to make our Major League Baseball team better.
Yeah. I mean, look at the top prospects here. You get to number 11 before you get to an outfielder. You don't have anybody. You don't have anybody even close in the outfield. Where Sal Stewart, great player, he could definitely help this team, but you have depth at third base. You have depth at second base. Same thing with Cam Collier. You have depth at first base. You have a CES who can play first and third. You have a Santiago Espinal, Noel Marte, Gavin Lux, who was a second baseman for the Dodgers. Like, you have depth in these positions. You have
Mhm.
nothing in the outfield. Use
Nope.
this extra depth, like guys that aren't even on this major league roster yet, to help this team. So, I mean, we can talk about that until we're purple in the face, but I just don't understand. I get what they're saying. They're not going to, move the farm, which is smart when you're a small market team. I definitely understand that, but
Mm-hmm.
you got to help this. This is the closest you've had a team to make the playoffs, and 20, almost 10, over 10 years. Yeah, I'm taking COVID year out of it because a 60-game season, anybody could have made the playoffs. But this is the team that the closest you've been to making the playoffs. Like, you gotta do something. You can't sit on your hands. And that's one thing with Pagan's comments was, if this ownership does sit on their hands, what are these players gonna like? Is just the rest of the season junk? Like, since they know they're not getting any help, like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, I think the biggest thing, that I feel, and just my opinion, is that when you make a statement like that, and you're making it be known that this team feels like they can win with a move here or there, and you don't make a move, then I think that you read into it like it's just status quo. It's just the norm, right? Like you talked about wanting to be a winner. You talked about doing all these different things. You bring a guy like Tito in, and you don't do anything to back it. So then, of course, as a player, you got to be like, all right, are you seriously considering being a winner? Do you want to win, or do you just want to be a team that's on the fringe? And we're on the fringe, but we're not going to play for championships. We're not going to be a contender. We're not going to do these other things because we want to hold on to potential instead of making that potential something where it's viable, where you're going to put a team on it. Like there's so many other teams. There's so many different teams that you've seen who have moved guys or traded prospects or made this or did that. And of course, a lot of those are big market teams, but also too, like you've got to be willing to play the game. You've got to get in there and make some kind of move. So, I think if they don't and they sit on their hands, I think it sends a sign. I think it sends a sign to the rest of that team and that organization that, like, I don't know how committed to winning they are. Like, I honestly, like if I'm up for free agency, or if I'm trying to draw free agents to Cincinnati, like, how committed are you to winning? And the Bengals saw that for a long time. Like, they bounced around with quarterbacks, they bounced around with guys, they did that. The other. Finally, they drafted Joe Burrow. They put money behind him. You put money behind your big guys, and then now you're starting to win football games. You play in a Super Bowl. You're making the playoffs. You're doing these things like when you invest into your team and you invest into your stars and you invest into making the team better, it's only going to make things better. So I'm hoping that they take a little bit of advice, which this is freaking odd and crazy to say.
Can't believe you're about to say this.
I'm hoping that they take a little bit of it, not all of it, but a little bit of advice from the Bengals and be like, hey, like we got to make some moves and get some guys in. Now, I'm not saying that the Bengals are the greatest at it, but at least they were able to sign their assets and bring guys in order to try to put a winner on the field. Because, truth be told, like, their stars dictate what they're trying to do. You know, like their stars got T. Higgins a contract. Like, they're like, look, T ain't leaving. You're like, all right, well, I guess T ain't leaving. So it's exciting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping that guys like Elliott, guys like Matt McClain, guys like Hunter Green, guys like Andrew Abbott are like, look, like we've got a chance to win, and now we're in a spot where we're going to have a pretty good rotation. We got a pretty good lineup. So now let's put something in there so that we can win. And I'm hoping that they kind of say, okay, well, let's go make these moves and try to make something happen. But like I said before, history tells us otherwise. But there's always room for hope.
Yeah, I mean their fascination to hold on to, like you said, potential and prospects. Like, to me, that's like playing the lottery. Like that's like buying lottery tickets every year. Just keep buying tickets. Most of them are going to be losers. Sure, you're going to hit a jackpot with LA De La Cruz. The free agency and trade market, that to me is more like, I don't know, the stock market. Like you are investing in something that is backed by history, backed. And look, not all stocks pan out. There's definitely some people that lose their shirts in that, but I don't know. There's a little more justification behind it. There's a history behind it. There's a little more just investment in it versus a hope and a prayer on a lottery ticket prospect.
Yep. No, I agree. No, I definitely agree. I think that it's just something where they've got to be able to pull the trigger, man. This team has a lot of just talent, and all they need is a little bit more support. And if they get that, then they're going to be okay. And it's already been said, like that, like Pagan is just echoing what the team's saying. Like he is echoing what's already been said in that clubhouse. Like we need them to make a move. So hopefully they listen.
Do you think whenever everybody gets together and like, yeah, we need the front office to make moves, do you think Connor Joe starts like sweating a little bit, like, am I on my way out?
100%. 100%. He's like, man, he's definitely sweating. He's sweating a lot over there. He's like, yep, I'm not going to be here very long.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had a hit since mid-June, so no.
Oh, man. It's time to go. Yeah, but I'm just hoping that they do something and make it happen. Especially, I think they said Hunter Green's making a rehab start. So I mean, like they're starting to get guys back. This team's going to be really good, and if you put some pieces around it, man, it's watch out.
Yeah, I agree. We've made it this long without our ace, and we're still like a really good team. Yeah. That's incredible. And the batting the offense has been able to get more runs. But man, you just need some more consistency in there behind these guys. You need and I'm not saying, hey, go get the top outfielder on the market, pay them whatever. Not that I had it all, but like try. Like, don't bring like some rental. Don't bring Harrison Bader back and call that the move. Don't, you got to do something.
Yeah. There's guys out there on teams that are sellers that would really help our lineup and help us in the field. And we got to be willing to go get that. We got to go willing to say, okay, let's find a team that's a seller. Let's find a guy that's a consistent outfielder that can hit the ball, and let's go make a move.
Connor Joe's days are numbered. I would even say I'd put Will Benson in that group. I'd put Jake Fraley in that group.
Yeah.
Just this revolving door of outfielders. I think they're all in that group.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. They're all sweating it. They're definitely sweating it. For sure.
So we'll see what this results in. I mean, they do have a bit of a schedule coming up. First, a series against the Nats, which I don't want to say they have to sweep, but I feel like that's like, if we sweep here, that is the exclamation point on doing something, because by that time you're 7 games over 500, and then you're really looking good, because then you go against the Rays and the Dodgers. The Dodgers on a bit of a skid lately, which is weird to say. They no longer have the best record in the National League.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a struggle. I think they had lost 5 of their last 6 or 4 of their last 5 or something like that. So I mean, but it's something unusual for them. So it's like it's weird to see. So, but yeah, I think the national series, if you can sweep that, then you're sitting in a pretty good spot going into a pretty rough partner schedule.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say they sweep that. If you can take that and let's just say the series against the Rays at home in Cincinnati, then I think that's ownership saying, all right, we got it. We have to.
Yeah.
Because look, the Rays are the same record as the Reds, 52 and 48. They're sitting outside the wild card picture. The Nats are a bottom feeder in this league. So I think those really help you out. And the San Diego's going up against Miami, and we saw Miami is able to actually play some ball. Their record doesn't justify how well they're actually playing.
No, it actually, they've actually figured a little bit out there. They're not great, but they are definitely. I'll say this: they are playing inspired baseball, despite the fact of what their record is and what's going on down there. So, it's a chance and an opportunity for us to make up some ground and hopefully be able to put some wins together leading into these next series and leading into the trade deadline. Man, I think that it's so key coming out of the All-Star break, man. If we've won 5 of 6 and going into the Dodgers series, and you go in and say you go in and you win 2 or 3 against the Dodgers, you 2 or 3 against the Rays, and you're heading in that direction. Like you can't not get behind this baseball team. Like you got to do something. And I think that's what the mindset is of the players too. Like I think that they are in a now or never. Like these next 2 weeks are a now or never stretch for them. Like they know they've got to win baseball games. They know that they've got to put some wins together, continue to win series, because one slip and then one slip of whatever, and our management says, nope, we're holding on to what we got, and we'll just finish out the year. And we still, we could still be making a run at stuff, but they won't make a move because of a faltering in late July. So we have to win some of these games and put some pressure on them in order for them to make a move.
I agree. So I think we're good enough to get out of here. But let's just keep it going. Keep the foot on the gas. I think that's the way that you get the help that these guys deserve. These guys deserve the help for the record that they've put up thus far, with all the injuries that they've battled through this far. I think they deserve some help, and I think ownership should put their money where their mouth is. If they want a competitive team, if they want a full ballpark, if they want to sell $13 beers, give us a reason.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you want us to keep showing up and supporting and putting our money in tickets and parking and concessions, and you want that, then you need to say, okay, these are the things we need to do in order to continue to put a winner in the field. LA De La Cruz bobblehead dolls are only going to go so far, and like I said, they're great for them that they market LA De La Cruz and he's got bobbleheads and jerseys and all. Like that's great. I said, but that's only going to take you so far. Like you can only put those out there for so long before people are like, you know what? If they're not committed to winning, then we're not coming. So hopefully they make a move and they do what's right by the team.
Agreed. So with that, we'll go ahead and get out of here. If you guys are planning on going down to the ballpark at all, use our code Riverfront to get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. I've actually just used this myself. We're going down next weekend, and $20. That's a free ticket for my son, who's probably going to sit in the seat for 5 minutes.
Right.
We encourage everybody to join our ever-growing family of Cincinnati sports fans over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/RiverfrontCincy. With there, you'll get special access to different content that we put out. You'll get access to our Slack channel, which is the best form of social media without actually being social media. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube so that you can catch the latest episodes, not only from this show, but from Seth's show with the Riverfront and from Welcome to the Jungle. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And please go subscribe on the audio version of this podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. And give us a rating and review for everything. And let us know. Let us know how you're feeling about the show. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We're just Reds fans making a show for other Reds fans. So let us know how we can do that the best for you. So with that, he's Ben Brown. I'm Skylar Webker. Good night, everyone.